It's Wednesday, the 27th of September, and it is time for Susie B. Living's Moonphase schedule for the rest of the week. So, we are going into a full moon on Friday, which means that we're back on unfavourable days. So Thursday, the 28th of September, is an unfavourable day. And on unfavourable days, that means that there is no sowing, transplanting, harvesting, anything like that going on. Of course, you can do it if you want to, but I find that these are great days for me to just take stock of what's going on now in the garden. If there's anything that I want to tidy up, I tidy up. I sweep paths, I pull out bindweed, I do things like that. And the other thing that I also do this time of year is we're now nearly finished September. On Sunday, it's going to be the 1st of October, which means that I'm looking ahead now to my October sowing, transplanting, all of that business. And one thing that I would recommend that you do on your unfavourable day on Thursday is get out your catalogues, go online and have a look at what's coming up for garlic, because October is where we start planting garlic in the garden if you want early garlic and if you want proper decent size bulbs as well. I don't now buy garlic because I've got very nice garlic already. So I just usually use my own cloves. If I was to buy garlic, there's a couple of varieties that I would actually buy, and they are Solent White. Now, this is if you're in the UK. Solent White, Provence White are really good. And I do sometimes grow elephant garlic as well. So that's one thing to be looking out for in the catalogues or online. Just be careful though, because whilst they're actually selling all of these bulbs, just have a look at when the dispatch date is, because sometimes they're not dispatching until January, which is for the spring sowing. So just watch that. The other thing that you might be looking for ahead of time is shallots. And I just got a really lovely lot of shallots here. I grow two types of shallot. One is called Red Sun and the other one is Golden Gourmet. So there's my first lot of shallots that have come, and because I want to be able to get those in pretty soon. The other thing that you can also be looking at is what seeds are you going to be sowing for October. If you are interested in what seeds I'm going to be sowing for October, just drop me a line below and I might do a little video about that, of what I've got coming up in October, just a kind of brief outline. So some of the extra things that are going to be sown are, like I said, garlic. I'm going to be putting in some broad beans as well. So think about those. I save my own broad bean seed. And if you want to start growing things like autumn onions from sets, then also just think about that. That's coming up as well. I don't tend to grow autumn onions from sets because I find that they have a tendency to bolt. So I just wait till the spring for that. You know that I've got my autumn grown onions already growing in their little modules. So, and the other thing is, if you haven't done it already, have a look at your bulbs for spring bulbs next year. So that's what I do on unfavourable days. Friday, the 29th of September, is Leaves Day once again, just for the day. So I'm just going to concentrate on one particular category of leaf, and my sowing on Friday is going to be of red cabbage. At this time of year, I sow red drumhead because I find that it is the best overwintered cabbage that you can have. The other time of the year, earlier in the year, because I kind of like to have red cabbage all year round, I also sow Fuego. That's a fantastic red cabbage. And I've still got two of those over at the allotment. They did actually fall over in the winds, but I propped them up and I am still harvesting red cabbage from those. They're beautiful, really tight, very crisp, gorgeous red cabbage. These little ones here that I've got are red drumhead already, so I've got a few of these in already, but I'm just going to do a few more sowings of this red drumhead. I always kind of like to have a few extras, as you saw in my last video with my cauliflowers. So if these don't come to anything, then I've also got some extras. For my transplanting on Leaves Day, I'm going to plant out these radicchio that I've got. I've got a few extra radicchios here, and it's a little late to put radicchio in, but I'm just going to put them in there. I've got some space in a raised bed, and I will put these radicchio in. They're in these 9cm pots. They're doing quite well. A little bit of aphid on them, but once I get them out in the garden, don't you worry, those aphids will go. The other thing I want to show you is in this bed here. Remember I transplanted out my Tatsoi? Well, here it is. This is it's doing so beautifully. And I also have some more little Tatsoi that I've got in these little modules here. And I'm going to, again, put them into my 9cm pots, and they will be transplanted out into the garden when they are ready. You can see here I have got some red pak choi in 9cm pots, and they're doing really well. I always like planting on these Asian greens into bigger pots because mainly because of slugs, and I like to get them a little bit more established before I put them in the garden into raised beds. For my weeding and maintenance of leaves, I am going to have a look at this chard. I've got this lovely chard over at the allotment. I inherited this chard from another allotment holder who had excess little plants, and it's doing really well. I've also got this chard here in a raised bed here at home in the kitchen garden. It's not doing as well actually, and I think it's probably because I've had quite a lot of problems with leaf miner, and I've had to strip away the leaves, but I will weed around these plants, have a good look at them, and if I have to, I might actually give them a feed. So that will be part of my feeding on Leaves Day. So I need to get in there and have a look at this chard. As you can see, it's the rainbow chard, red, I've got some yellow, orange, and I've also got the white. So that is my weeding, maintenance, and feeding on Leaves Day. Saturday, the 30th of September, is really only half a day. It's the morning, and the morning until 12 p.m. is Fruits Day once again. And so what I'm going to do is, because I don't have a great deal of time, and actually this time of year there's not a great deal to do with fruits except just keep chopping your tomatoes down and harvest. So I will be harvesting more tomatoes, and the other Fruits Day I harvested my largest and my smallest tomato. As you can see, they're very different in size. The large one is called Cherokee Purple and the small one is called White Currant, and I'm very lucky that my tomatoes are starting to come, so I might actually have a glut. I keep harvesting my peppers as well. They're nearly finished harvesting those. It's been a great year for peppers. And I have quite a few interesting chilies coming, as you can see. All different sizes, all different shapes. They are loving being in my little emerald greenhouse, and I'm going to hold on to these. I'm not pulling these out at all like I'm going to be attacking that big greenhouse. So have a look at these chilies. This is very exciting. I've already made some chili pepper jelly, which is more like a chili pepper jam. So that was made out of chilies and peppers, and I've got quite a few to collect because I need to do my pickled jalapenos. So I started picking my jalapenos, as you can see, and also Mr. N, he makes his fermented sriracha chili sauce. So I'm going to need chilies for that. So it's harvesting on Fruits Day. And finally, it brings us to Sunday, the 1st of October. It has been so mild here this September. I cannot believe that it's already the 1st of October and we're still having 20 degrees centigrade. Can you believe it? Well, Sunday is Fruits Day yet again. So again, go through all of your harvesting. All my corn is in now. I'm going to go and have a look at my squash and see what's going on with them. I've got a few that are not too bad, as you can see. I've got this big blue one, which is called Blue Hungarian, and I've got another one, which is a Hubbard's one. I think it's Burgess. Actually, I think this is Burgess Buttercup, and that's looking really good as well. So I will be checking on all of my squash and seeing how they're going, but by the looks of things, we're not going to be getting any awful weather, so they can keep growing. Aubergines all finished, cucumbers all finished. So it's really just tomatoes and chilies and just the rest of the peppers. I do have some tomatillos coming, and when they start looking quite good, I'll show you those as well. I'm not sure whether you've grown those before, but they're absolutely delicious. And I make a tomatillo salsa with them, and they're really, really yum. No sowing, no transplanting, no feeding, no real weeding and maintenance except watching all your plants in pots for Fruits Day on Sunday. So, and then that's it. So my next video comes out on Sunday night, which is the 1st of October 2023, which carries on for next week. Like I said, we're looking ahead to October now. Sowing continues, and October's a big month for me to start planting things out for their winter growing, their autumn and winter growing. So in the next few weeks, I will be completely taking everything out of my big greenhouse, and I will be putting everything in it that needs to be in it, and also planting up my beds in the kitchen garden and what I've got over at the allotment. So thank you again for joining me on my Moonphase gardening journey. And if you've been watching my videos for a while now, you'll see that I've got a certain system, and it will get easier because you'll get used to what I'm going to say is my next category. Give me a thumbs up, that'd be really great. And thank you for watching, like I said again, and subscribe. And then we can lunar garden, Moonphase garden together. Thanks, I'll see you later. Bye.